Austin Hill did not drive. This is Austin Hill driving by the grandstands, driver's side toward the grandstand. He did not drive down the front straightaway with his middle finger in the air the whole way. He's flipping a guy off, and he's looking directly at the camera, and he's responding to some fans who probably two or three dudes with their, in the grandstands are probably sitting there double birding him.
Probably.
And he's just giving it back.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. just said the unthinkable about Austin Hill. After the 2025 Talladega race, where Hill secured a thrilling victory, emotions ran high when he was spotted flipping off fans on his way to victory lane. The move sparked a firestorm of reactions, and Earnhardt Jr. didn't hold back, sharing his bold take on the situation. What did Jr. have to say, and why is everyone talking about it? This moment sparked a debate about whether Hill's actions warranted a fine or penalty. Fans and commentators weighed in, and it quickly became one of the most talked about incidents of the season. But what did NASCAR legend Dale Earnhardt Jr. think about it? Surprisingly, Jr. came out in defense of Hill, offering a perspective many didn't expect. Let's dive into Jr.'s surprising take and why he believes NASCAR should reconsider how it handles such moments. Let's rewind to the 2025 Talladega race. Austin Hill, fresh off a hard-fought victory, was making his way to victory lane. As he passed by the grandstands, Hill was caught on camera flipping the middle finger toward a few fans who had been heckling him throughout the race. The gesture, brief but noticeable, quickly went viral, sparking an online debate. Some thought Hill's actions were disrespectful, while others saw it as a justified response to rude fans. In the days that followed, the question on everyone's mind was whether NASCAR would impose a fine or penalty on Hill. After all, NASCAR has always been serious about its image, and the organization is quick to penalize behavior that crosses the line. However, when NASCAR released its penalty report for the week, there was no mention of any action being taken against Hill. The debate seemed to settle, but it wasn't over yet. On his podcast, the Dale Jr. Download, Earnhardt Jr. offered a surprising take on the situation. Before NASCAR released its penalty report, Dale Jr. addressed the incident and shared his thoughts. He made it clear that he didn't think Hill's actions were deserving of a fine or penalty. In fact, Earnhardt Jr. seemed to believe that Hill's gesture was completely justified. Now let's be clear, Earnhardt Jr. said, clarifying the situation for his audience. Austin Hill did not drive down the front straightaway with his middle finger in the air the whole way. He's flipping a guy off, and he's looking directly at the camera. And he's responding to some fans who are probably 2 or 3 dudes in the grandstands that are probably sitting there double birding him, and he's just giving it back. Earnhardt Jr. emphasized that Hill's gesture wasn't a random outburst, but rather a specific response to a small group of fans who were likely provoking him.
I respect the gesture, and it adds to the needed personality the field needs. I may hate him, but I love to hate him, because that's sports. And
I like that response.
I do too.
Great response.
Now, let's be clear. Austin Hill did not drive. This is Austin Hill driving by the grandstands, driver's side toward the grandstand. He did not drive down the front straightaway with his middle finger in the air the whole way.
Earnhardt Jr. made it clear that he didn't see this as a major violation, suggesting that context played a key role in how the situation should be viewed. One of the most interesting aspects of Earnhardt Jr.'s response was his view on the role of villains in sports. In many sports, there's always a player or team that fans love to hate. In basketball, players like Kevin Durant have built careers around embracing the villain persona, feeding off the hatred of opposing fans. Earnhardt Jr. believes NASCAR could benefit from allowing drivers to embrace this role more openly. "We need to embrace this to an extent," Earnhardt Jr. explained. "We call it out for what it is. They love to hate him. It adds some color. There's not a lot of people out there willing to be the villain, to be the bad guy." Earnhardt Jr.'s comments suggest that he sees Hill's gesture not as anger or disrespect, but as part of the broader drama that makes NASCAR compelling. The sport, after all, is built on rivalries, and rivalries are fueled by strong emotions. If a driver like Austin Hill is willing to lean into the role of the villain, it could add depth to the sport's storytelling.
We need to embrace this to an extent, right?
Why not?
We'll call it out for what it is. They love to hate him. If you know,
If you love to hate him, this is for you.
Yeah. You know, there's not a lot of people out there willing to be the villain. to be the bad guy, to be the guy that's, not a lot of guys willing to do that. And honestly, man, Austin Hill, I think I want to give Denny a little credit. Denny's shown you how to do that.
This perspective is significant because NASCAR has long prided itself on being a family-friendly sport. However, in an age of social media and constant fan engagement, it's increasingly difficult to keep things clean all the time. Earnhardt Jr.'s suggestion to embrace the drama could be seen as a shift in how NASCAR handles its drivers' personalities. It's a call to accept that emotions will spill over, and that's part of what keeps fans coming back. Dale Jr. was quick to remind his audience that not every situation should be treated the same. Context, he argued, is essential when evaluating an incident like Hill's middle finger gesture. While some may see the act as unprofessional, Earnhardt Jr. believes it was a short-lived response to fans likely provoking Hill throughout the race. "It can't be so black and white," Earnhardt Jr. said. "Look at the context here. Had he done it all the way down the front straight away as a bird to everybody, I'd say that's something we need to get him in the room and go, listen, pal, that can't happen." But this kind of stuff, it's like no different than, Kevin Durant going on Twitter and going back at trolls. This comparison to Durant's behavior highlights how athletes often respond to criticism. In Hill's case, his reaction was brief and pointed at a specific group of fans, not a widespread attack on the entire audience. In Earnhardt Jr.'s view, this made it less of a problem and more of a spontaneous response.
It can't be so black and white. Look at the context here.
Yeah.
Understand. Now, had he done it all the way down the front straightaway as basically a bird to everybody,
That's different.
I'd say that's something we need to get him in the room and go, listen, pal, that can't happen. But this kind of stuff right here, it's like no different than, Kevin Durant going on Twitter and going back at trolls. I saw him, he's like, hey, man, that's like my morning coffee.
The idea that context matters is important because NASCAR, like many sports organizations, has to draw a line between what is acceptable and what crosses it. While Hill's middle finger was an emotional reaction, it wasn't part of a pattern of unsportsmanlike behavior. Earnhardt Jr. believes such nuances should be considered before penalties are handed out. Earnhardt Jr. also touched on an important point regarding fan behavior. NASCAR fans are known for their passion, and sometimes that passion manifests in negative ways. Heckling, trash talk, and insults are common in motorsports, and drivers are often the target. But Earnhardt Jr. believes that if fans engage in this behavior, they need to understand there could be consequences. Fans don't get a free pass to be rude and disrespectful without any potential for a response. This calls for accountability on both sides, drivers and fans alike. While drivers should act professionally, fans should also remember they're part of the drama. If they provoke a driver, there's always the chance the driver might respond in kind. Earnhardt Jr. pointed out that NASCAR should embrace its evolving image, especially as rivalries and drama spill into the public sphere through social media instead of trying to sanitize it. It adds color, it adds drama, it adds storylines. If you're too worried about keeping everything perfect and clean, you might lose that edge that makes the sport so compelling. In a world where drama is often the biggest draw for fans, embracing these moments could be just what NASCAR needs to stay relevant, whether it's a driver flipping off a fan or a heated rivalry brewing between competitors. Those moments fuel the conversation and keep people talking. In the end, Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s defense of Austin Hill's middle finger incident at Talladega shows a refreshing perspective. He believes that while context matters, the moment should be embraced rather than punished. Hill's brief gesture, a response to heckling fans, wasn't part of a larger pattern of poor behavior. Earnhardt Jr. thinks moments like these add drama and color to the sport. As NASCAR seeks to stay relevant, perhaps it's time for the sport to recognize that controversy and emotion, like Hill's gesture, can drive fan engagement and add to the excitement. In the end, it's these moments that keep NASCAR fans invested in the action both on and off the track.